My name is Kieran Marisa Ndege, a lawyer and a marketer and a public policy expert working for Oxygen. At Vellum Podcast, what we like to do is ensure that we maintain a heartbeat on the pulse, on regulations, on policy, as well as anything that affects the policy landscape in the country. And for today, we would like to invite you to just understand and break down what is insurance, just demystifying the myths around insurance in the country, and kind of just like changing the conversation and the narrative around what people think about conversation from a policy angle and from just a common consumer-based angle. So thank you and welcome.
Thank you, Kieran. It's a pleasure to be here. My name is Rose Wanda. I'm from Organization of Eastern and Southern Africa Insurance. I'm the Secretary General. This is a member-based organization that has membership across 15 countries in the Eastern and Southern region. So our main aim is to promote the business of insurance across the 15 countries where we are based, and mainly we do this through capacity building. So I'm really honored to be here because this is what one of the things that we are supposed to be doing.
Thank you, Kieran, for having me today as one of your panelists on this very important conversation about insurance, and especially debunking the myths around insurance. My name is Stella Njung'e. I am the MD of NCBA Insurance Company Limited. We are a general insurance corporation, and we insure mainly assets for all types of corporations, be it big corporates or small and medium-sized enterprises, and also individuals. We protect your assets and give you covers that enable you to take care of your risks and help you navigate the uncertainties that are there in this world. Very happy to be here, and thank you again for inviting me.
Starting us off, I think Kenyans have their own misconceptions about what insurance is, the lack of trust, if I do say so. I don't know if you could kindly just, debunk what is the insurance, like just explain to us about the insurance ecosystem in Kenya. And for somebody who's completely new to insurance, what do they need to understand about insurance in the country?
Okay. You can consider insurance to be a safety net or a level of protection that can help you when you have a crisis or a calamity befalls you, be it as an individual or as a corporation. And it's good that you brought up the trust aspect, because I've interacted with a lot of people, and they do say that there's a lack of trust in this particular country around insurance. And I think it's driven mainly by the myths about insurance. And I'd just like to name them. And the first one is that insurance is complicated. I don't know if it's the complex term itself. Insurance is, I think it's not easy. It requires that you have to look it up. Insurance is, if you want to think about it, is simply protection for yourself and for your assets and for your business. And why is it important? It's important because life is full of risk. They may crystallize or they may not crystallize, but when they do, they give you a financial shock of different kinds. If it's a business and fire consumes your stock or consumes your building, you find that you have to start from scratch and get additional capital to put up the structures or to stock up your business. If you're involved in an accident as an individual, be it a motor accident or you suffer a fall that is either fatal or leads to a form of injury, maybe one that is lifelong or maybe one that is not so impactful on your life. You have dependents, people who rely on you, your family, your children, your wife, your parents, and you find that if you suffer an accident, your dependents are the ones who are going to suffer. So what I ask people to do is, beyond thinking that insurance is complicated, look it up, understand what it means, and that I think this podcast is primarily to make you take the first steps towards that. And sit down and make a plan for your business and for yourself and determine what your needs are. And then see whether or not you need to protect yourself, how will you protect yourself? There are all manner of covers that we'll be speaking about on this podcast that will be relevant to you in terms of ensuring that when you lose an asset or you lose your capital, you don't have to start from scratch. Insurance is there to take you back to where you were before. We call it indemnity, another very long word. But what it does is protect your assets, protect your capacity to earn, and to also give you some form of certainty as you navigate through life. So it's not complex. The second myth is that insurance is expensive. And I usually tell people it's expensive until that calamity or crisis befalls you. That's when you realize just how much damage and destabilization it can bring to your business and also to your life. Come up with your insurance plan. If you need help, reach out to an insurance intermediary, an agent or a broker, or just walk into the office of an insurance company. They're ready and willing to help. And insurance is not for a certain class of Kenyans. It's for everybody. Right now, when you're young and fit and you don't fall ill so often, you'll feel like you don't need medical insurance. But you do. And it's not about, I will not make a claim, therefore I will not need it. It's not about that it's money that I'm wasting for this particular year or over several years I've been paying and I've not had an accident. It's for that day when you have that accident. So it's not complex, it's not expensive, because the amount that you pay, which is the price of the whatever product that you are consuming, is much less than what the insurance company will pay you when you have an accident. If you lose your phone and you have a home cover where you have listed your assets and among them your phone, which could be an iPhone 16, when it's stolen or it's lost, the claim process is not long. But what will happen is that you will be, as long as you have the receipt for that phone, you will get an equivalent. So you don't have to start from scratch in terms of looking for new money, new capital to buy you a new phone. The other myth that is there is that insurance companies don't pay claims. I think this is where
That's the most common one.
Yeah, it is. This is, I think, the crux of the trust issue. We do. The same way when you're buying a car or you're buying a house, you do a lot of research about the area where you're going to buy a house from, or even rent, the kind of cost it would take you to buy that house, whether you need to get a loan from your circle, from friends, from family, from a bank. You'd actually carry out a lot of due diligence. That same mindset is the same mindset you should apply when you're looking for an insurance cover. Research the insurance company that you would like to give you cover. And there's a lot of information given by industry bodies such as Association of Kenya Insurance, this is AKI, by the Commission of Insurance, our regulator, on their website, and even by the insurance company themselves. There's lots of information that you can get online. And after you carry out your research, you'll be able to determine whether or not this is a reputable insurance company or not. The statistics that are published even by the regulator about companies and their claims payment capability and service. Also, the number of complaints against insurance companies, they'll give you a way of being able to determine whether the insurer that you're going to take up cover with is one who will be able to pay you your claim, because that's a promise of insurance, that will pay when that unexpected event happens to you. And we want you to trust us that we'll be able to make that payment to you. Very, very important. So the same way you research when you're acquiring an asset is the same way you should research when you're looking for an insurance service provider. You can get guidance from an intermediary, but do your homework. It's very, very important. The fourth one, regarding whether or not your claim will be paid. You will get a policy document. You know that small print everyone keeps on complaining about. If you don't understand it, go to the insurance company. They will interpret it for you. It's their work. And they're happy to serve you and help you understand the kind of coverage you have. So that right from the outset, you know what you're covered for, and most importantly, what you're not covered for. So that when you have a claim, we don't start getting friction of I didn't know. The same amount of diligence you carry out when you're buying a car or buying a house or opening up a business is the same level of diligence you should take when you're buying an insurance company, an insurance product. When you're buying a phone, you know all the features. You know the RAM, you know the speed of the processor, you know how many cameras it has, you know about the storage. same level of diligence when you're buying an insurance cover, so that you are crystal clear about what the area of coverage is. I think I want to pause there and open up the conversation again.
Insurance pays for uncertain events. So I've had instances whereby I have friends who are telling me that I'm sick and I want to take up a policy. Which insurance company will take me in and pay for my illness? Insurance really doesn't work like that, especially when it's an individual cover. So insurance is for events that may or may not happen. And that is why you find that our policies have waiting periods, which sometimes you find a lot of people are then uncomfortable with.
Right. I think also in the country, there's a very, very low penetration when it comes to insurance. And what can be done in regards to that? Because there's very low penetration when it comes to insurance. Maybe that is what also contributes to the misconception that insurance is maybe for corporates and for elite classes of people. So how are we going to go around improving insurance penetration in the country?
I think at the crux of the matter is education. So consumer education is key in driving the insurance conversation. I think people understand risk very, very well. And we have very strong social structures such that when certain calamities befall a certain family, you'll find that they have family plans or clan plans in chamas, which have taken up group arrangements to raise money through harambes to take care of hospital bills or to help fund your a funeral and take care of funeral expenses. But I think beyond that, we need to now consider how about if I prepare for it as an individual. Very, very important. We have strong societal safety nets, but the conversation needs to come down to the individual, because once we are able to consume insurance as an individual and you have an experience that helps build your trust level that insurance works, I think then spreading that story that I was in this situation and I claimed from my insurer and I found that my capital was preserved. I was able to maintain my dignity because my medical cover was able to take care of my medical expenses, or I had an accident and I was incapacitated to a certain level, and my personal accident cover was able to give me a payout that is now sustaining me even as I recover or as I look for an alternative way of getting my income. So education is key about why insurance is important, why it is important as an individual or as a business owner that I should take up these covers, and then education about the types of insurance covers that are there, both for individuals and for corporates. Our insurance regulatory authority is very big on this. They run a lot of information camps across the country. In fact, I think last week there was one in Kericho, the Insurance Open Day, that they combined together with a tree planting session just to educate the general public on the ground about the importance of cover. And I think we need to move out of the mindset that insurance is for watu wenye wako na mshahara. That's not it. If you're a business owner, you can benefit from an SME cover and take care of your business and also take care of your insurance needs. So the products are there. It's the information that needs to be spread out as quickly as possible. Other ways that we can support in the industry, and we're doing it, for instance, in this podcast, and we are hoping that as the audience listens to us, they understand the importance of insurance and they'll get to know the why and the how it is that you can get cover. Insurance companies also do a lot of training for insurance agents and brokers. And those are the agents that are used to go out and spread the information about the importance of insurance.
Also, in regards to the issue of penetration, I think we can also say that we have a lot of bundled products in the market. If you go to your phone right now, you're able to get a car insurance from the brokers online there who are selling car insurance. We have medical insurance that you can also access from your phone. You can use the USSD, for example. So data is not really a must that we must have. Also, I think when it comes also the issue of penetration, religious and cultural beliefs also really play a big role into that. And when Stella is talking about consumer education, I think then it's also important then as individuals, then we look at what are our cultural beliefs. Because I remember when I wanted to buy a last expense policy, for example, for my parents and my siblings who are really educated, they were like, no, you are inviting death. So, and that's the kind of thinking that's out there. So I went and I just bought the policy. It's been 7-8 years. I pay the policy, the last expense policy. So what people need to know that when you take up an insurance policy, you are not inviting that disaster, upon yourself. You're just protecting yourself.
Very important. As I said before, you need to come up with a plan. And ujiite kamkutano, because it's about the future and it's about making sure that there's a safety net for yourself, for your family, and for your business, for the sake of continuity and also to retain dignity. It's very important.
Just looking at the policy landscape in Kenya, that also builds on the aspect of trust. So you have fraudulent brokers. I think maybe a lot of people have already had that pinch from disappearing claims. You even have cases where even from accident covers, you get into an accident, you leave hospital, you struggle with your bills, and then the broker will go ahead and collect the premium from the insurance company. So do you think there's a gap, looking at just the regulatory framework in the country? Are we having a gap where we are having an undisciplined brokerage situation? Because the brokers are supposed to be able to kind of like ease the pressure on insurance companies and be able to even just connect more with consumers. So are we having an issue where the policy landscape has been set in such a way that the insurance companies are so far out of reach from the common mwananchi, and now we have let brokers run rampant, and consumers are feeling that maybe there's no one being brought to book? So are we having an issue, a gap in the regulatory space, or is it just a matter of discipline? What is falling through the cracks, that we're having a festering trust problem that is continuing to grow?
Kieran, what I would say about the trust issue is, if you ask the people who are talking about the trust issue, they have probably, a majority have not experienced it. It's something they have had. Because if you look at the way the insurance landscape is, we have the Insurance Regulatory Authority, who is in charge of protecting both the consumers and also the insurance companies themselves and the brokers. So what happens is that before a broker is licensed, they must be approved by the regulatory authority themselves. Same to the insurer and also to the agents. So, and the insurance companies are easily accessible. So for me, I feel like it's a belief. We believe that they're not accessible, but indeed, they are accessible, because when you go to their website, all of them, you'll be able to find their contact details. We know where they are all located. And if you have a complaint, you can channel your complaint either through the insurance company, and if you don't feel satisfied, you can actually go directly through the regulator. Now, the brokers, they even have an association. So when you look at insurance companies, they have an Association of Kenya Insurance. If you look at the brokers, they have the Association of Insurance Brokers of Kenya. The agents also, they have an association. So we do have mechanisms that are in place where we can be able to, as consumers, as the public, to channel any complaints that we have. So as Stella says, I think it's the issue about lack of probably awareness that these options are there. But the regulator is very strict. If you send a complaint about a broker and you provide enough evidence, I have seen and I know for sure that they do take action.
Just to add on to that, every year, insurance companies are licensed, and it's quite a rigorous process. And it's the same process for agents, for brokers, and other service providers. There are people who carry out risk surveys, there are people who are loss adjusters. They are like the ancillary services that support the insurance industry. And the regulator is strict. So I don't think it's a policy issue. It could be an awareness issue. And if you would like to find out whether the person you're dealing with is registered to handle insurance as either an underwriter, a broker, an agent or a service provider, those lists of names are there on the Insurance Regulatory Authority website, and you can see who is licensed to carry out those services year on year. He even goes further. He publishes them in newspapers and says these are the registered and licensed underwriters, insurance companies, or for brokers, I think there are quite a number, but they're there, I think, for bank assurance and agencies. You'll find them there on the newspaper and on the website. So I'd urge people to, I said the same thing of due diligence. Carry out your due diligence. And as Rose has said, they have quite a strict department called, there's a regulator, Consumer Protection. And they handle these matters with a lot of care. And they have strict timelines. And again, the outcome will be that the interests of all parties involved in that particular matter will have been handled according to the law. So I don't think it's a policy issue. I would say it's an awareness and an education issue, and the need for everyone to make sure that they research thoroughly before they buy cover, and they keep track of whether or not the person they're dealing with is actually a licensed individual.
What is coming out more prevalently in this is that there's a knowledge gap problem.
Yes.
Yeah.
In curing that, do you feel like insurance companies, for example, that the companies are focusing more on sensitizing the public on what the product is to sell, but not going behind the cracks of it to try and communicate to consumers in a very palatable way what this product is, why do you need this particular insurance? So do you feel like also maybe insurance companies have taken a step back and focused more on the sales part of it rather than just the helping the common mwananchi, the consumer, to be able to understand, why do I need this policy? What is this particular policy? What policy do I need for each particular situation or any particular risk that I may come upon?
Okay, what you're saying is that we're product focused,
yes,
instead of awareness focused.
Yes.
My rebuttal would be this. You find insurance companies have a lot of physical presence across the country. You have branches, I think, in every main town, and even for the smaller towns. And for those who run what you call agents networks, those guys carry the message to the ground. And beyond selling the product, you'd find that they carry out a lot of training. So they first begin with an awareness campaign, teaching you about financial literacy, because I've attended some of those sessions. It starts with a session on financial literacy. And then after that, they point out to you, what could your possible needs be? And then from there, they'll let you know there's this kind of product or that kind of product. And the same with brokers. They'll schedule a conversation with you. And after a discussion, they'll ask you about your insurance needs and then also inform you about developing areas in insurance. Like right now, the big conversation is about cyber. This, of course, is on the corporate side. But we are finding that even mwananchis are getting their phone hacked, your data stolen, or the interesting things happening in that conversation. So you find there's a lot of campaigns even on radio. You'll see banks telling you, don't share your PIN. When someone calls you, ensure that they're actually calling from the bank or from Safaricom directly. And I'd say you'd find insurance companies also doing the same. You'll find there's a lot of information sessions that are being held in terms of raising awareness, be it in the specific towns, and they're being run by the agents or the branch managers in that particular area. You'd find that there are several podcasts and conferences where they disseminate information to various individuals. And it's usually an aspect of, I'm training you, or I'm sharing this information with you for you to go and share with someone else. So I would say there's a lot more we can do, but the steps towards making sure that there's adequate training. One of the agents who are a lot more versatile and are able to reach more people on the ground, and also in terms of webinars and online trainings to raise financial awareness. If you look, I think, on the Sunday newspaper, there's usually a piece on insurance that is run by various insurance industry captains or heads of departments. And also on the radio shows, you'll find a lot of them participating in these conversations around insurance. So we're not all bad. We are also putting our foot out there and making sure that we take up the role of creating awareness around the importance of insurance.
And Rose, given your experience in different markets, I feel like it gives more of an appreciation on what has been done outside and maybe what is lacking in the country, especially in regards to penetration. What do you think are some of the things maybe as a country, maybe even insurance companies within the country, what do you think that they can draw from that?
So you'll actually be shocked when you look at the penetration in the region and sub-Saharan. So we're excluding North Africa, right? Yeah. I would say South Africa are the ones who are really, really ahead of us in this region. And Namibia, the penetration rate is also a bit higher. But generally, if we compare Kenya and our neighboring countries, I think in terms of insurance, we are quite ahead. When you look at technology, the products that we are rolling out, now for an insurance company, you're actually able to claim online, for example. You don't have to go there physically, and stuff like that. So I think we're really much ahead. The challenge, which I think still remains and is across the region, is the issue of consumer awareness. I think that is where I would say that all companies need to improve on, and not just the company, brokers, agents, associations. And associations are also doing their work. If you look at Association of Kenya Insurance, they had a debate for high school students, just trying to promote insurance and what it's all about. So I would say Kenya, we are tuko sawa tu, ni labda
panel beating
on matters to do with like AI, yes, cyber. But even when you look at our regulation, we have micro insurance regulation, and not many countries have regulation that is specifically looking at micro insurance, for example. We have insurtechs, a lot of insurtechs. If you look across, we have a lot of technological companies that are now able to sell the insurance products.
What do you think about that? Sitting from a C-suite, CEO angle, a decision maker, looking at it in this space, do you feel like as a country we're making much greater strides than others? And in as much as we might say that we are ahead of the curve, I feel like maybe there are more challenges and maybe there are more gaps that we need to be able to cure to continue being ahead of the curve.
Okay. Just to echo what Rose has said, yes, actually we are one of the leading countries in Africa, despite our low penetration. And it's a type of insurance that sells, I think, in South Africa, I think mainly is funeral. And here, well, it's still a bit of a taboo sort of conversation. Yeah. So we don't do so well on that. Mm-hmm. I would say once we're able to move away from this big society net called Harambes and relying on family to be able to help us in those crises, that is when we will embrace insurance and be able to actually pay that price called premium to be able to take those necessary covers. For my seat as NCBA Insurance Limited, we are, I would say, a mid-sized insurance company offering general insurance services with a 52-year heritage in this market and known for professionalism, paying claims. Yes, we're actually up there. Yes. With a sort of a niche player in corporate, but also with a decent individual book. In terms of awareness, thought leadership, making sure that you have those conversations around the importance of insurance, we are playing our role. And we will continue to do so in terms of driving conversations around the uptake. I'm happy that finally we are in that space called digital transformation on insurance. It's taken a long time for insurance companies to transform their operations so that they're able to serve people from the website. I think you've said that for individuals going to an insurance company, I think is a journey they do not want to make. They probably want to just look for the insurance guy or call a relative who has an insurance guy and ask them, how do I sort out my insurance need? But I long for the day when everyone will appreciate that insurance is important and we're able to bridge that trust gap. Because it's not a conversation about trust. It's about that you need that cover and you'll be able to save yourself so much pain and agony when you face certain difficult situations around loss of assets, loss of income generating capacity, if you had just taken that plan. Very, very important. Now, on the digital aspect, the fact that you can go to our website and buy, that you can dial a USSD and purchase cover, I think is a big step for us in the industry, because we are one of those industries where paper is a lot. There are forms for everything. And sometimes it becomes difficult for you to always have to go and provide your ID, your PIN, and you get to a point where you have to memorize your PIN number because it's needed in so many documents. We need to embrace it because even the government is going that way. If you look at eCitizen, you know how I think have the SASA. To get your driving license, you have to go online. Everyone has to file a return. It's digital now. So go to the website, read, do your research, and you find that there's a cover there for you. And there's detailed information, even on those websites, about the type of covers. But we will do our part in making sure that these conversations are also held on the ground, face to face. We still retain our global heritage because we continue to share and service Kenyans with those products on specialty and financial lines, which include, among others, cover for the environment. It's called environmental impairment liability. You know, you told me we have a lot of jargon. I remember just before we started this conversation.
Yes.
But we are the only company in this landscape that is offering that cover. So if you have a factory, and you feel you have some form of environmental liability, come and talk to us. We also have a contaminated product insurance that speaks to companies who export a lot of food and horticulture products out into the market. We cover product recall. And I think that's the biggest risk those companies face. So you don't need to look for those covers overseas. We are here, we are local, we have capacity, and we have a long reputation in being able to serve Kenyans in those particular aspects. Now that we're part of a banking services group, all it means is that now our customers and those of the bank and the group have the opportunity to get their financial services sorted out and met in a one-stop financial shop. You can get your banking services sorted there. You can get your bank assurance. Bank assurance is an intermediary. Services sorted there. And also your insurance needs being met in in under one umbrella. So that is what it will mean for the insurance industry. This is the new player that is having that particular product offering and range to secure insurance and banking needs for customers. And we're not the first. I think you'll see that there are other players in the market who have the same financial services group that has a bank, an insurance company, an asset manager under one roof sort of structure. And it looks like it is the way to go, because what you do is that you benefit from the scale of the bank and of other subsidiaries within the group. So good things for our customers. We'll also rely heavily on them because they are very, very digital. So we'll move out of our analog space. You cannot have a digital parent and then you continue to remain analog. Yeah. So it's we're happy about it, and we are looking forward to the years ahead. It can only get better.
What's your view from, just leave alone from NCBA's angle, but what is your view as a consumer and also maybe as a stakeholder in the sector following the coming in of NCBA IG?
I think, luckily I happen to be a customer of NCBA.
Okay.
Which now makes me a potential client of the insurance company if I'm not one already. The beauty about banks and insurance companies working together is that for the clients now, my belief is that you're able to access better products from the insurance companies because everybody wants to give you their own people the best. So it's my expectation that NCBA IG would want to give the bank customers the best products that they have. And accessibility, so we are expecting that we'll be able to access online products, just the way when you go to the NCBA app, you're able to access your bank statement and everything. I think for insurance companies, it should also be the same way. That is already not applicable. Mergers and acquisitions, you've noticed, is happening a lot in the African space. Not just it's not unique to Kenya alone. We have some already on the way, others just waiting to conclude. It's a good thing for the market, because when companies merge, then what happens is that the capital base becomes stronger, and as an individual, there's even more certainty that this company is going to be there to pay your claim when the need arises. So it gives strength, financial strength, technical strength, and all that. And this benefit then goes to the individuals.
I think also another thing that we can also address, there's the ever rising cost of living. Looking at government increases in tax, but the country was earning a lot and still does earn a lot from diaspora remittances. What we're looking at, if this new finance bill comes into play, we're going to be having a certain tax. How do you even foresee, like, even the rising cost of living, how has that even affected the uptake of insurance products? And even considering that as more companies, like when you look at the Kenya Gazette, when you look at the media, you're seeing more companies, more SMEs continuing to close down. And we are having a situation where you've said NCBA is very corporate centric. How are you looking at still surviving and still evolving that kind of space, while still making sure that you're taking into cognizance your consumers as they continue to still want to continue to just strong the tide and move forward?
The economy, geopolitical issues. Look at the withdrawn funding for USAID.
Yes,
and so many NGOs impacted. And now the Republicans proposing to tax diaspora remittances from the US into Kenya. It's geopolitical shifts. Ukraine, I think, used to supply a lot of wheat to everyone. Higher taxation levels on an individual basis for the ordinary Kenyan. The examples abound. But I guess life is like that. And it becomes difficult because the environment that you operate in is causing a financial strain to your business or to you as an individual. So you have to rebudget. You have to budget afresh. You have to look at your operations because what you want to aim for is sustainability and not a shutdown. So sometimes we go down to a shutdown if it's just not sustainable to run your business anymore. So what does it mean for us insurance companies? For individuals, I'd ask, come and speak to insurance company about flexible payment terms. There are products such as insurance premium financing that can help you spread the insurance. I've seen a lot of people doing what we call downgrade of cover, which means that if your vehicle was previously comprehensively insured, you want now to only cover third-party liability, which can create a problem for you because when you have an accident, it means that they'll only take care of the third-party liability. You have to get the money to repair your vehicle. So you have to weigh. You have to weigh how it is that you will continue to maintain your covers. My message is do not come off insurance because its purpose is to provide you with a safety net. That risk is still there. Whether or not the economy is going up and down, you can maybe look at reducing your sums insured for a period until you're able to tide over your the financial strain, be it a business or an individual, but do not go off cover. Look at those options on insurance premium financing. NCBA Bank, I think, is the leader in that particular segment, and you will be able to come and we speak to you and then come up with a solution to see how it is that how we can get you a cover that will fit within your current financial situation, but don't go off cover.
Would you think that this is maybe a Kenya-centric problem, or is it just looking in the regions that you operate in? Do you think this is something that applies across the board, or are we just having a Kenyan problem?
It's not just unique to Kenya. You find that even when we had COVID, and most of us who were affected by it heavily, maybe through job loss and things like that, and our disposable income became lower. So for most people, what they did is they just went and said, I don't need insurance. And so they stopped paying. And this, for me, still boils down to the issue of lack of awareness. If you don't understand what insurance does to your life, then you will not think that it's important. But also, if you're not aware that you can actually go and talk to companies like NCBA, and, they'll organize for you the IPF, So it's there. It's not just unique to us, but we need to at least know that insurance plays a very big role. I think I always tell people that we are one medical claim away from poverty. Yeah. If somebody is ill, I like using real examples. My mother was ill and she was hospitalized. Yeah, and we didn't have insurance. Do you know we had to pay that thing in cash? And looking for, I think the bill was coming to about 1 million. That was in 2017. And we are 3 siblings who are working. How do you go soliciting money from your friends when you're working? So you see, it kind of ended up destabilizing us in a way. And from that, I personally learned that it's very, very important to have insurance, different types of insurances.
As a parting shot, what can you just advise moving forward in the sector, and even disregarding what may happen, the risks that may happen with the ever-evolving, financial climate, the geopolitical climate of the world? What do you see as opportunities for the sector moving forward, and opportunities that even consumers can capitalize on?
One, and this is for our younger consumers who are so entrepreneurial and creative. Huge respect to them, because I know when I speak to my nieces, my nephews, everyone seems to have a gig going on the side. You're a content creator, or you're a DJ, or you are an MC, and they are generating serious income on the side. And they have tools that they use to generate that income. You have an excellent smartphone that you saved very hard to get. You have your LED light, so you're able to record your TikTok videos and your content for your podcasts, or you're an influencer. You have equipment around you, or you are a band and you've bought expensive saxophones, sound systems, you even have a stage, and you have a van that you use to transport everything. But what I realized is that they don't have insurance, and yet you saved up for a long time to buy those assets and also to get your capital, because you need money to travel, you need money for airtime to make calls, you need to set up a business account on Facebook or wherever, or a website. You've taken time and money to set yourself up for your small business. Please take a cover for your assets so that you don't find yourself coming back to scratch when they are damaged or they are lost. Very, very important. You can take a small home cover to cover your household effects, and include in there your laptop, your iMac, your iPhone, and pay a small premium, because it is small. You'd be surprised the kind of premiums, which is the price for the cover that you will be charged. But so you don't have to go through the pain of having to start from scratch and creating some volatility in your business income when you lose an essential asset. Cover your asset. More importantly, cover yourself, because you're the one who has the capacity to generate that income. It's you. Your voice, your hands, it's your mind. Unfortunately, we can't cover the brain. So I have seen some artists cover their voices. If you Google, you'll see some basketball players covering their arms and their legs, because they're the ones that help them generate income. Get an income protector. It's grown-up conversations.
Yes.
It's important so that you can stop the volatility that comes when a misfortune arises. Very, very important. And it's not hard. The same way you diligently go through the internet looking for certain facts about certain events and certain people, same way research your insurance companies, buy that cover. Go to them. It's not difficult. They are not big buildings with some people who have no time for you. We have time for you. Come and have the conversation with us. And if you want us to come to you, we can come to you. Reach out to us. This, in my view, we have a huge economy. Told today it's called the creative industry.
Yeah, creative economy.
The creative economy.
Yes.
It's okay. I know it's been addressed by Buddy in his bill. There are taxes coming that way. Let's have an insurance conversation about it because it will help you have a stable source of protection throughout and give you a safety net as you go about your creative activities.
For me, what I would say is that I don't know whether we know that insurers are also covered by somebody else known as reinsurers. So there are opportunities in terms of, we have a lot of local, when you're talking about local, I mean African reinsurance companies coming up in the region. And therefore, they encourage insurance companies to do business with the local African insurance companies because they tend to give you African solutions for problems. And then this then basically means that whatever problems as an individual you think you have, I think the insurance company can give you a solution. And if they don't have that solution, they're able to get capacity from the reinsurer. Number two is the opportunity for me that I'm seeing also is along regional harmonization of insurance laws. So we've seen insurance regulators in the region, that is Uganda, Kenya, Tanzania, they actually do have an association. And the regulators, what they're trying to do is to at least try and harmonize some of our laws so that if I go to Uganda, if I go to Tanzania, for example, the rules of business are the same. Then that makes it very easy for any one of us. Because remember, going to a cross-border to an East Africa community is very easy. So if also insurance is harmonized, then it makes the whole ecosystem easier. So even the Gen Zs can go and shoot their videos in Uganda and buy insurance from here in Kenya and vice versa.
Okay, that's amazing. So I think it's moving forward. I think what needs to be done more is more of a knowledge. We have identified that there's a knowledge gap.
Yes.
And I think that's what needs to be really, really addressed.
Yes.
I think that's a challenge to, the consumers themselves, but even the insurance companies as well.
Yes.
That there needs to be a proactive approach to how are we sensitizing consumers, are we sensitizing the public on insurance.
Yes.
So thank you so much for coming. Thank you for honoring us with this conversation. So to our consumers, thank you so much. We will continue to engage in more active conversations on this. And my request for you is to keep it Vellum.